My name is Sophie. I'm 34 years old, and a few weeks ago my own mother banned my 9-year-old daughter from her birthday party, then told the entire family that I was the one ruining her special day. If this were a Reddit post, the title would probably be, Ada for refusing to go to my mom's birthday after she uninvited my kid? For context, I have one daughter, Lily. She's 9, bright, sensitive, a little shy in big crowds. She loves reading and drawing, hates loud surprises, and is one of the kindest kids I know. My mom, on the other hand, is the complete opposite of shy. She's 58, very image conscious, and has always treated family events like performances. Growing up, birthdays and holidays weren't just about being together. They were about the right photos, the perfect decorations, everyone behaving exactly how she imagined. If something didn't fit her picture, she'd get mean. As a kid, if I cried at a birthday because I was overwhelmed, she'd hiss, "Stop it right now, you're embarrassing me." If my brother made a mess blowing out candles, she'd laugh it off as boys being boys. There's always been a double standard. My older brother, Mark, and his 2 kids can do almost no wrong. I was the dramatic child, and now, apparently, Lily is the difficult grandchild. When Lily was 6, she was diagnosed with mild anxiety and sensory issues. She gets overstimulated by loud music, big groups, people shouting over each other, so we've learned to prepare her for events. Tell her what to expect. Make sure there's a quiet room she can retreat to. Leave early if she gets overwhelmed. My mom knows this. She was at the doctor's appointment where we talked about it. At the time, she nodded and said she understood. In practice, she acts like it's made up. Examples. At a loud family barbecue, Lily covered her ears and asked to go inside. My mom rolled her eyes and said, "She's so dramatic, Soph. We all survived parties without special treatment." At Christmas, when Lily wanted to open presents slowly and not be pushed to hug everyone, Mom muttered, "If you don't want to act grateful, you don't get gifts next year." Every time, I pulled Mom aside and said some version of, "She's not being ungrateful, she's overwhelmed. Please stop making comments like that." Mom would say, "Fine, I'll try." And then a month later, there'd be a new incident. I've spent years walking this line, wanting Lily to have a relationship with her grandma, but also wanting to protect her from unnecessary emotional damage. Then came my mom's 60th birthday. This was a big deal to her. She booked a restaurant, planned a fancy dinner, ordered a custom cake, and told anyone who would listen that it was going to be the event of the year. One Sunday, a few weeks before the party, Mom invited my brother and me over for a planning meeting after dinner. We were sitting in her living room when she pulled out a notebook and said, "Okay, let's talk guest list." She rattled off names of cousins, friends from work, church people, neighbors. I was half listening, half zoning out because I'd already heard most of this before. Then she said, very casually, "So, of course Mark and the kids are coming, but Lily's not invited." I thought I misheard. "Wait, what?" I said. "What do you mean Lily's not invited?" Mom looked at me like I was slow. "I mean," she said, "your daughter is not invited to my birthday dinner." The room went tense. Mark shifted uncomfortably on the couch. "Why?" I asked, my voice sharper. Mom sighed, annoyed. "Because, Sophie, it's going to be a nice evening. Adults dressed up, cocktails, speeches, photos. I don't want to spend the whole night worrying about whether Lily is going to have a meltdown over the music or the candles or the noise." My heart started pounding. "She's 9, Mom," I said. "She's not a toddler. And she's your granddaughter." "Yes, and I get one 60th birthday," she snapped. "I want to enjoy it. I remember your father's 60th. You cried for half the party because your dress was itchy and it ruined the photos. I am not recreating that with Lily." "That was 30 years ago," I said, incredulous. "And even if I did cry, I was a child. You're seriously banning your only granddaughter from your birthday because you're worried about pictures?" She rolled her eyes. "It's not just the pictures," she said. "It's the drama. Last Thanksgiving, she wouldn't even come out to say hello to everyone for the first hour. And when she finally did, she hid behind your leg. People asked me if she was okay. It was embarrassing. I felt like I'd been slapped." "She was overwhelmed," I said. "There were 20 people here all talking at once. You know she struggles with that." "She struggles because you coddle her," Mom shot back. "Mark's kids manage just fine at every event. They know how to be polite. They know birthdays aren't about them. I want an evening where I'm not on edge waiting for your kid to fall apart." I looked at my brother. "You're really okay with this?" I asked. "Your kids get to go, but mine doesn't?" He shifted again. "I don't love the idea," he said carefully. "But it's Mom's party, her rules. Maybe it's better if it's just adults. That way Lily doesn't have to deal with all the fuss. That's not what this is, I said. If it were no kids at all, fine. But your kids are invited. Mine isn't. That's not an adults-only party. That's a targeted exclusion. Mom crossed her arms. Look, she said. I'm not saying I don't love Lily. I do. But she is a lot. And I want one peaceful night. She can come to the brunch I'm planning the next day. The brunch with 30 people and loud music? I asked. The one in your tiny house? The environment she already struggles with? Mom waved a hand. She'll survive. Kids are resilient. You're making a big deal out of nothing, Sophie. I felt anger and hurt rising in equal measure. You're asking me to tell my 9-year-old that her cousins get to celebrate Grandma's birthday at a fancy dinner. But she has to stay home because she's, what? Too sensitive for your aesthetic? Mom said, if you frame it that way, that's on you. Just say it's adults only and leave it at that. I took a deep breath. So, for the record, I said slowly, you are explicitly inviting Mark's kids to your 60th birthday and explicitly banning my daughter. She didn't even flinch. Yes, she said. That's my decision. Something in me snapped, quietly. Okay, I said. Then here's mine. And that was the moment everything really started to unravel. I sat there on my mother's beige living room couch, staring at the woman who raised me, trying to wrap my head around what she'd just said so casually. She was fully prepared to have my brother's kids at her big birthday dinner and leave my daughter at home like some embarrassing secret. I took a slow breath so I didn't start shouting. Mom, I said, if Lily isn't welcome at your birthday dinner, then neither am I. Her head snapped up. What? She said. Don't be ridiculous. I'm not being ridiculous, I replied. I'm being consistent. I'm not going to get dressed up and have a fun night out while my 9-year-old sits at home wondering why her grandma didn't want her there. Mom scoffed. She doesn't have to know. Just say it's for adults. She's not stupid, I said. She'll see pictures of her cousins in party clothes with you and wonder why she didn't go. I'm not lying to her to protect your image. Mark muttered. Come on, Soph, you're making this into a bigger drama than it needs to be. I turned to him. How would you feel if the roles were reversed? I asked. If Mom invited Lily and not your kids? He hesitated. She wouldn't do that, he said. Exactly, I said. Because she knows you wouldn't put up with it. Mom cut in. This is exactly what I'm talking about. Everything is always some huge emotional crisis with you. I'm setting one small boundary for my birthday and suddenly I'm the villain. One small boundary, I repeated. You're excluding a child from her own grandmother's celebration because she doesn't perform the way you like in public. That's not a boundary. That's cruelty. Mom's eyes flashed. Don't you dare call me cruel, she said. After everything I've done for you. After all the times I babysat, bought her clothes, showed up for her birthdays. You show up when it looks good on Facebook, I interrupted. But the second her needs are inconvenient, you complain that she's too much. She stood up. I'm not going to stand here and be attacked in my own home, she said. If you can't respect my wishes for my own party, maybe you shouldn't come at all. There it was. I felt strangely calm. Okay, I said. I won't. Mark stared at me. Seriously? He said. You're going to skip Mom's 60th over this? I'm going to skip any event that tells my kid she's less worthy of love and celebration than her cousins, I replied. If that happens to be Mom's 60th, that's on her. Mom gasped like I'd slapped her. You are punishing me, she said. On purpose, for having boundaries. I shook my head. I'm protecting my daughter, I said. From being made to feel like there's something wrong with her at 9 years old because she doesn't match your idea of a perfect party prop. She threw her hands up. I cannot believe this, she said. All I wanted was one nice evening. One. And once again, you're making everything about Lily. You and your therapist and your labels and your excuses. When you were a kid, you cried all the time, but I still dragged you to things. You turned out fine. I remembered the panic attacks in middle school, the way I'd learned to shut down my emotions to survive in this house. I wouldn't call that fine. Mark tried to mediate. Mom, Soph, maybe we can find a compromise, he said. Like, what if Lily comes but you guys sit at a table near the back, or you leave early if she gets overwhelmed? I raised an eyebrow. So she gets to come but hidden? Mom shook her head. No, I've made my decision, she said. I don't want to spend my birthday walking on eggshells around your child. You know how she gets. I stood up too. Then you've also made my decision, I said. I'm not coming either. And I will be very clear with Lily that she's not the problem. Mom's eyes narrowed. If you tell her that, you are poisoning her against me, she said. You're turning my own granddaughter against her grandma. Maybe you should have thought about that before you uninvited her, I said. I left soon after that. The car ride home was a blur of shaking hands and angry tears. At home, my husband, David, listened as I poured out the story. "So, let me get this straight," he said when I finally ran out of words. "Your mom is inviting Mark's kids, banning Lily, and expecting you to go smile and play along?" "Yup," I said, exhausted. "And when you say you won't, she says you're punishing her," he added. I nodded. He sighed. "Then we're not going," he said simply. "We?" I asked. "I'm not going to her party without you and Lily," he said. "I don't care if she invites me separately. This is insane." I felt a mix of relief and sadness. Over the next week, the group chat with my extended family lit up with plans. What to wear, what time to arrive, who was bringing flowers. Mom never mentioned the ban in there. To everyone else, it looked like a normal family party we were mysteriously ignoring. Then, 2 weeks before the party, Mom started her own campaign. She called me and left a voicemail. "Sophie, I really hope you reconsider," she said. "Everyone's asking if you're coming. I keep having to tell people I don't know because you're upset. Please don't embarrass me like this." When I didn't respond, she texted, "I can't believe you'd miss my 60th over something so small. You're being selfish. Lily will have other birthdays with me." Then she called my husband. "David, can't you talk some sense into her?" she said. "She's overreacting. Of course I love Lily, but she's just not a birthday dinner kid. This is about me, for once." David told her calmly, "If it's about you, you're free to choose your guest list, and we're free to choose ours." That didn't go over well. By the time the actual birthday rolled around, my mother had told half the family a very different version of events. That she kindly suggested an adults-only dinner, that I refused to compromise, and that I was boycotting to punish her. In her version, she was a heartbroken mother whose ungrateful daughter was ruining her milestone birthday. In reality, she had banned a 9-year-old from her grandma's party and was now shocked that her mother wouldn't play along. The day before the dinner, my phone lit up with messages from relatives. "Your mom says you're not coming. Is everything okay? You know she's really hurt, right? Can't you just go and work it out later?" I answered the ones that felt honest enough to hear it. "I'm not going because my daughter isn't welcome," I wrote. "I'm not leaving my child out so I can go be in selfies." Some understood. Some didn't. And then the night of the party came, and my mom's victim performance went into full swing. On the night of my mom's 60th birthday dinner, my little family did something incredibly boring. We ordered pizza. We watched a movie Lily picked. We played a board game. It was both completely normal and deeply strange, knowing that a few miles away my extended family was all dressed up at a restaurant, clinking glasses, taking pictures, singing happy birthday to a grandmother. My daughter wasn't allowed to see that night. Lily didn't know the full extent, but she knew enough. Earlier that week, I'd sat her down and said as gently as I could, "Grandma is having a fancy evening party at a restaurant. She decided she only wants adults at that dinner. I don't think that's very fair, especially because your cousins were invited, so Dad and I are not going either. We'll all celebrate with Grandma another day in a way that feels good for everyone." She'd frowned. "Why do my cousins get to go?" I told her the truth, age appropriately. "Sometimes adults make decisions that aren't kind," I said. "That doesn't mean there's anything wrong with you. It just means we have to choose what's best for our own family. And leaving you home while we go to a party you're not allowed at? That wouldn't feel right to me at all." She thought about that and said quietly, "I'm glad you're staying with me." So there we were on the couch, covered in pizza crumbs, when my phone buzzed. It was a picture from my cousin, my mom in a fancy dress, Mark and his family on either side, a big 60 balloon behind them. No caption, just the photo. A minute later, another text from a different cousin. "Your mom keeps saying both my kids decided not to come and crying. She's telling people you're punishing her. What's going on?" That stung. I typed back. "What's going on is, she invited Mark's kids and uninvited mine. I chose not to attend a party where my daughter wasn't welcome." After a few minutes, my cousin replied, "She left that part out." Over the next hour, little bits of information trickled in through messages. Mom telling the table I was too sensitive and holding grudges. Mom crying about how some people never grow up and just want attention. Mom saying she tried to have a mature boundary and got punished for it. To hear her tell it, she was the victim of my selfishness. At one point, my aunt called me from the bathroom. "I can't stay long," she whispered, "but I wanted you to know. Your mom is absolutely playing this like you abandoned her for no reason." When a couple of us asked why Lily wasn't here, she just said, "Sophie made it complicated." I laughed bitterly. "Of course she did," I said. "Did you tell her you talked to me?" "I will," she said, "but not tonight. She's 3 glasses of wine in and on a roll." After the party, 2 things happened. First, a handful of relatives reached out privately to say, Now that I know the full story, I'm with you. I wouldn't have gone either. Your mom has always been extra about her image. Second, my mom called me. She didn't start with hi or I missed you. She started with, are you happy now? I took a breath. Happy about what? About ruining my 60th, she snapped. About people asking where you were all night. About me having to tell them my own daughter refused to come. You didn't have to lie to them, I said calmly. You could have told them the truth, that you banned your granddaughter and I chose not to attend without her. That's not what happened, she insisted. I said it was adults only. You said it was adults only for my kid, I replied. Mark's kids were there. She huffed. They're different. They know how to behave. My jaw clenched. So does Lily, I said. She behaves just fine. She just gets overwhelmed. And instead of working with that, you decided to exclude her. She switched tactics. Do you have any idea how humiliating it was to blow out my candles without my daughter there? She said, voice trembling. To have people ask where you were and have to say, oh, she didn't feel like coming? You could have said, I replied, that you told me my child wasn't welcome. That's the truth. She ignored that. You made me look like a bad mother, she said. On my birthday. I hope you're proud of yourself. I didn't make you do anything, I said quietly. You made choices. I made mine. Actions have consequences, even for moms. There was a long, crackling silence. I can't believe you're talking to me like this, she whispered. After everything I've done for you, I raised you. I helped with Lily. I've always been there. And this is the thanks I get. I stared at the wall. Being my mother doesn't give you a free pass to hurt my child, I said. And helping sometimes doesn't erase the times you've made her feel like a burden. She started crying louder. You're turning her against me, she said. When she's older, she'll think I didn't love her. You're brainwashing her. If she grows up thinking you didn't love her, I said, it will be because of how you treated her, not because of what I said. Kids remember how they felt, Mom, not the excuses. She hung up on me. Since then, things have been distant. She sent a few passive-aggressive texts. Hope you're happy. Lily is missing out on her grandma. One day you'll regret keeping her from me. For the record, I'm not keeping Lily from her. I've told my mom she's welcome to see her. At our house. At the park. At calmer family events. What I've made clear is, we won't attend any gathering where Lily is singled out or excluded. We won't pretend that kind of treatment is normal. Right now, my contact with my mom is minimal. I answer short, factual texts. I don't engage with guilt trips. I refuse to frame my choice as some wild overreaction, because at the end of the day, this is the reality. My mom chose her party aesthetic and her comfort over my daughter's feelings. Then she chose to act like the victim when I refused to play along. I'm sad about it. I wish I had a mom who could say, I'm sorry, I messed up. Of course my granddaughter should be there. But I have the mom I have, so I'm doing what I can. Breaking the pattern for the next generation. Lily will grow up knowing. Her parents show up for her. Her worth isn't based on how easy she is at parties. Love isn't conditional on being convenient. Sometimes I wonder, did I go too far? Should I have gone to the dinner alone, just to avoid drama? Did I make her birthday about me like she claims? And then I picture my daughter, sitting at home while her cousins posted photos from a fancy restaurant with grandma. And I know exactly why I stayed home. So what do you think? Was I wrong for skipping my mom's 60th birthday after she banned my daughter from coming and then played the victim to everyone else? Should I have put my own hurt aside for the sake of family? Or was drawing a hard boundary the only way to protect my child and our little family? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And if you like Sophie-style family drama and Reddit-inspired stories, don't forget to like the video and subscribe for more.